Okay. Do you start the timer?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Liu from Teach Now. Today, I'm mentoring Jenny from who teaches in pre-K. I watched the video. I think your class was great. After I finished watching the video, I found out that you are very nice and patient to the students. I can see the kids like you so much. I also found out your class is very comfortable for the students, very comfortable learning environment. And then they show respect to you. At the beginning of the circle time, you did a review from the last lesson and you post out some questions to guide the kids by showing them the storybook. I think you did a sufficient recap before they went to the worksheets table. I like the way you unlock the keywords, and I think it's very helpful learning. I have learned something about White Brother in your class too. When they answer their questions, you remind them quietly raise up their hands. I think this is very helpful norms for the younger kids. As a coach, I have two areas of teaching growth which I want to point out. One is when you give out the lessons, you can use the technology to help in the class because they are younger kindergartners. For the younger ones, they are visual learners. Some concepts are very hard for them to picture in their mind. For example, you're talking about the White Brothers, the airplanes. You can show them a cartoon or video about the White Brothers and tell them the history about the planes. Also, you can show them the pictures, the images of the airplanes, the gliders, or how long the wings are, how big are the wings are, and then what does the engine looks like. I think they will be more interested in those pictures instead of just one teacher lecturing the lessons, the concept for them. At the same time, I think they could be learned the lesson by pictures easily. Another area is that you working on managing the mini class well. You can put some fun activities or games in their small group. They can cooperate with their classmates instead of just giving out their worksheets to write down the words or the sentences. I see that you went to each group and talked to every table. I think which is very good. But you focus on only one child. The other children don't know what to do. They lost focus on the worksheets and they start to looking around and talking to each other. And then some of them they start to grabbing each other's crayons. I feel that they didn't learn anything in the point. I think you can try to choreograph your classroom to get every single kid engaged in the lesson, like the chants, the singing. You can sing songs, and then put some movement, move their bodies through some simple steps. And then I think for younger ones, they will be more interested in that. Overall, I think you had a way wonderful class you have. And we can meet one time every week if you want. We can talk about all the strategies we need to work on. And then you know how improved you've been made. We can meet together the first time. We can talk about specific norms and procedures, transitions, and then I can enter your classroom, support you, and to see how those strategies being used effectively in the classroom. Yeah, overall, your class is good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for your comments. I also watched over your video about the teaching. You are teaching grades 3 to 5. I find that generally your class management is very, very good. You did use class, yes, that one to attract students' attention. It's really sharp and easy, but very efficient. When you start the lesson, I think you review what you have talked about last time. It's really helpful and for the kids to remember what they have learned last time, and then to continue their lesson and for right now, so it can keep the lesson reasonable and keep it consistency. During the class, I see that you keep on walking around the classroom to get all students' attention, and you encourage them to talk, to speak their own situations and their own understandings, which is really, really good. And you also give them some advice and suggestions. It's really helpful for them to get it. So when this kind of communication can make the students get to know more things, and then to get to know the problems they have, and then solve the problem occurring in their learning life. But I think there's still some areas we need to work on. The first thing is the enthusiasm. So I think the teacher leaves the hand. At the very beginning, you just leave your hand overlapped and then talk about the plain intonation, in a plain intonation at the very beginning of the video. It's not really interesting, and we can tell that you are not really you didn't really draw all the attention to your students. And also you look down on the floor. That's not so the impression is not really that professional. Sorry, I'm really wrecked to say that words, but if you can do that, if you can, eyes always look forward at the students, they can get that you are very confident. If you keep on looking at the floor, it's part of a sign to show them you are not really confident, you are not really ready, or you don't really have some interest in the material you are teaching or you are doing. So I think that's better. If you can do this, you can show them, be more professional, and especially at the very beginning, if you can inspire them, and then to get their attention, and to inspire them at the very beginning, that would be much better. And the second part, I think about the class control. Generally, your class is a little bit loose. I think it's not really everybody is engaged. Students, they keep on shout out the questions from the beginning until the end. They didn't. A lot of them didn't really raise their hands to get permission, and then they just shout out the answer. It's not really good. And they shout out the answers in they sometimes their words has nothing to do with the lesson. So I think if you can remind them and to remind them to follow, remind them of following the class rules or the norms. You set usually all the teachers will set like you get a permission to speak. You cannot speak without your teacher's permission. The next one, I think the part that you should do is the transition part, because at the very beginning, I can tell that it's a transition period. Since you said you close your books and it's a reader's workshop time, but the transition doesn't really go well and smoothly. You did use some counting down things, but you just keep on talking. I think it's better if you can wait and until everybody can be quiet down, and then start the lesson, start to teach. That will be much better.
Okay.
The next part, I think, just I mentioned that you keep on walking and walking. It's like keep on walking back and forth. It's a little bit annoying. I think if you can stay still for a while, not just walking back and forth. That will be better.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think it's okay if I give you this suggestion?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.